Today we're going to talk about reflexive pronouns. We use these pronouns in English when the person or thing doing the action, the subject, and the person or thing receiving the action, the object, are the same. In many languages, this is done by using a special kind of verb. In English, we do it with pronouns. This is an English idiom that means to try to do too much, to spread yourself too thin. Imagine that you don't have enough butter to put on a piece of toast. You would spread it until it was very thin. Maybe you wouldn't even be able to taste the butter. If you try to do too many things, you are like the butter, spread too thin. So here's an example. I'm thinking about getting a second job, but I don't want to spread myself too thin. Notice the pronouns here. In this sentence, I is the subject, and the subject is also me. So we say myself. This is the reflexive pronoun. We've looked at the pronouns we use instead of nouns in sentences. We use different sets of pronouns depending on whether it's the subject of the sentence or the object. So if it's a subject, we say I. If it's an object, we say me. She knows him, but he knows her. I like them, but they like me. So how do we use reflexive pronouns? Well, here's a sentence. Maria sees Joe in the mirror. If we change those nouns to pronouns, she sees him in the mirror. But what about this one? Maria sees Maria in the mirror. She sees herself in the mirror. The subject and the object are the same, so we use the reflexive pronoun instead of the object pronoun. These are the reflexive pronouns: myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, themselves. They all end with self or selves. The selves is plural for we and they. And even though you can be plural, we rarely say yourselves in English. We would just say yourself, even if there's more than one person we're talking to. So here's some more examples. Mom drove Lisa to work. Mom is the subject, Lisa's the object. But if Lisa's the driver, Lisa drove herself to work. John taught me to swim. John's the subject. But if I'm the subject, I say, I taught myself to swim. Teresa is angry at him. But if he's the one who's angry, he is angry at himself. Let's do some practice. John cut John with the knife. John cut himself with the knife. Sometimes when I'm alone, I talk to myself. Anna makes lunch for Anna at home. Anna makes lunch for herself. The new neighbors introduced the new neighbors to us. The new neighbors introduced themselves to us. We decided to treat us to a nice dinner. We decided to treat ourselves to a nice dinner. You need to give you more time. You need to give yourself more time. She worries too much. She will make herself sick. History repeats history. History repeats itself. We think of us as New Yorkers. We think of ourselves as New Yorkers. I wanted to eat more cake, but I stopped myself. If you use a reflexive pronoun with the preposition by, then it acts as an adverb rather than a pronoun, and it means alone. So we say, sometimes I like to be by myself. By myself is acting as an adverb here. It's saying how I like to be. My son can get dressed by himself. She hates to go to the movies by herself. Another way we use reflexive pronouns is to add emphasis. I want to do it myself. In this sentence, I is the subject and the object is it. It's not the same as the subject. But by adding the reflexive pronoun myself, I'm putting a stress on it. I'm emphasizing that I want to be the person who does this. I want to do it myself. We did all the work ourselves. We did it. Why didn't he tell me himself? Why did he tell you to tell me? I wanted him to tell me himself. So to review, reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and the object in a sentence refer to the same person. She sees him in the mirror. She sees herself in the mirror. They see themselves in the mirror. They are also used to add emphasis. She made the food herself. The president himself gave me the award. We do all of the repairs ourselves.